Hey guys, DTR down to ride here. Had a lot of people ask me to do a video on how to wire in the arming switch on for the en300fi or just the carbureted model, which is the en300. And I'm getting ready to do a hair scramble next weekend and was switching out a switch because the original switch I got, which I have here, it's supposed to be waterproof, and the light is super dim and it's green. It wasn't the color I wanted anyways, but I noticed last weekend when I was riding it, I don't know if you can even see, there's a little bit of moisture behind it, and it wasn't very bright, the light in general. So we're going to swap this out real quick. I figured I'd do a quick video on how I wired in the arming switch. So there's kind of two ways to do it, not really two ways, two options. So what I chose is a light up switch, so I know when the arming switch is actually on and when it's off. But I'll post, someone had provided a schematic of just a regular switch being wired in, which just would be the red wire, the hot wire, going to the switch only. Since I'm running a switch with a light on it, it has to have the ground wire going to it also. So let me plug it in and I'll show you what it looks like here. And I'll show you what I use for connectors here also as part of that. So let me get it. So what I mentioned in that one video, in order to do this, you need to have a 4-pin Sumitomo connector for this here. This, you can see this bundle up here with the 4 wires in it. That there is the ECU plug wire, and you'll see it in there, and it'll have a red cap covering it. So you'll need to use the female 4-pin Sumitomo for this side. And since I was ordering this, I ordered a 2-pack. If you wanted to order the correct one, I would get a 3-prong Sumitomo connector for up here. What I did, well, this one here hasn't been filled yet, but since I just swapped it again, and what I did is I use the plugs and then I fill that with RTV, so water can't get in there. But on eBay it was cheaper for a 2-pack than a single one, so I just ordered a 2-pack of the 4-pin Sumitomos. So anyways, let's plug this in real quick. I've got one hand only since I'm using my phone to film this. Okay, so plug back in and I'll show you what it looks like now. Sorry, the garage is a mess because I'm getting ready for everything. So you can see it lights up blue. Computer turns on now. My wiring bag of wiring stuff over there. So I turn it back off, it will turn off. And that's what I wanted for my switch. I wanted to be able to know, because when this is on, if this light switch is on, it's pretty easy to tell. But I've had a thing now where I accidentally bumped this off and the light was off, but this was on and I couldn't tell because that other light was so dim during the day. I swapped it out for this one. So now I definitely will know where or when the switch is on or off, and so I don't forget it and have the battery go dead on myself. So anyways, a quick schematic of what I did here. So you'll have your ground and your positive. I had a old trickle charger wire plug that I was able to use, so it has a built-in fuse, which was nice, just to be safe. You know, it's always better to be safe than sorry, especially if something is plugging in and powering your ECU directly. You can buy these by themselves also, and to add one in. I would recommend putting a fuse block in anytime you power something, add something. And then it goes down, so we have the power and then the ground. And the power, the first, you'll run one wire all the way to the switch up here. So you can see I have, can't really see super well here. I have two reds here, and then I have the black and red, which is a ground. And the ground looks like it goes all the way because it's the same color here. But it actually tees right here. I have a T in the ground, so that I can have one go to here. And then so I kept the one same color going all the way across, and then I teed in right here at this point, and you can see where it splits off from this branch. So the power going from the battery goes all the way across past this unit here, goes up here, goes into here, and then the switch, when I click it, it connects the power from that side across, and it goes back down. I used another red wire for myself. You could, use a white or something else to kind of color cord it and help if you want to do that. But since you can't see probably the color difference. Yeah, it maybe can. I could tell the color difference, slightly different color in the red wire that I used. Feeds back down, comes, and then comes out and plugs into here. So then as soon as I hit that switch, it connects that and goes back down. And then the ground here, down here. So I got this switch on, both of my switches on Amazon. Maybe I'll put a link in there. And so I'll let you know what, none of them are color coordinated from there. So the brown is actually the ground for this one, and then black is the power in, and then the blue is the power going out. So just in case you need to know, technically, I guess if someone's really interested, I could build a harness. I really don't want to. So if you don't think you can do this and you have extra cash, I guess, because if I do it, it's not going to be super cheap, since it's not something I really want to do with the little free time I have. But anyways, hopefully this will be clear enough for you guys, and pretty straightforward. Like I said, the ground is the only one that I have to tee into. And then you put a T here, basically, small section of wire coming off to connect to this. And so what I did on my wire harness also is I put a female connector on this one, because this one you have to use a female connector for this Sumitomo, since they have the male up here. And then what I did on this end is I switched it around, and I did the female side. There's a smaller piece on this end of the wire harness. I hope you can't see. I open this up here. So the smaller piece, could have this backwards. Technically, this has the prongs. You think that would be the male, but since that smaller piece goes into this piece, I'm calling this the female. Correct me if I'm wrong. But anyways, the piece that goes into the larger piece, I put on this end so that you can't ever get confused. It'd be pretty hard to confuse that. But then I know that this one definitely connects here, and this one definitely connects on this side. So, yep, that's how I wired it in. Almost forgot one thing. So I did look on, and I think this is technically considered the male connector, or at least it has the male pins within this basically female receptor, but they do call that the male connector. And then what I was going to actually point out and show you is what wires, so the red and black here, which ones they plug into here. So you see the white, green. On the back, they do have the black and red. So the black is connecting to the black, and the red is connecting to the red. And so I just wanted to make sure you guys see that and know. I forgot to point that out before. So yeah, there you go.